What's up everyone, welcome back again to your Heroclix headquarters. Today, in honor of his big screen debut, we're going to talk about the top 5 Carnages in Heroclix. So without any further ado, let's get to the list. Alright, so coming in at number 5 on our list to start things off is the Carnage from Web of Spider-Man. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I always kind of thought this one was a little silly looking. Just waving his arms like, but so he's 153 points, so he's definitely overcosted by today's standards, but we'll take a look at him here. He's got a special attack power that says when Carnage is given a close or range combat action, you may roll a d6, and if you do, Carnage's damage value becomes the result and is locked. So essentially he has blades for both close and range attacks, which is pretty cool. One thing I do want to point out, monster is not his only keyword. They errated him to give him maximum carnage. So he got maximum carnage and monster, so that's pretty good to know at least. Then on his damage power, he has flurry, plasticity, and steel energy, which is pretty nice combo to have there. Pretty much all the specials he has. We'll take a quick look at his dial. Starts off with 4 range, double target, charge, 11 attack with that close and range blade special, 17 toughness, and 4 damage, which honestly with 4 damage, you don't really need to roll blades most of the time. Then he drops pretty quick to a 16 defense, 10 attack, 3 damage, some quake there, and you can see he picks up the flurry and steel energy and everything. Gets some leap climb. Drops to a 9 attack, 15 defense, and then an 8 attack at the end. So honestly, his defenses are really bad. You know, his attack isn't horrible, except for the fact that it drops to an 8 at the end. But what can I say? He's kind of old. So for all those reasons, he's coming in at number 5. All right, and coming in at number 4 on our top 5 Carnage list here is the Carnage from the Superior Foes of Spider-Man. Now, unlike the last one, I really love the sculpt on this guy. He actually looks like Carnage, like he's actually going to jump at you and just tear you apart. Pretty awesome. His dial is pretty good too. This was actually my favorite Carnage for a while. He does have maximum carnage and monster like the last one. The alien symbiote trait was great. Plasticity and shape change and automatic breakaway. They've gotten rid of the automatic breakaway on the newer ones, but you know, with plasticity, you barely need it anyway. Also, he has improved movement for elevated, which is really nice, and especially now that everybody just ignores hindering anyway. So it's really awesome. And then, whenever Carnage damages an opposing character of lower points with an attack, do not place an action token on him for this action. Whenever Carnage KOs an opposing character, heal him 1 click, or if that character was lower points, heal him 2 clicks instead. So that's really awesome. If you just keep damaging lower point characters, he can just keep going and going forever. And then if you actually manage to KO some, he can start healing himself, which is really great. And at 100 points, especially nowadays, that's a little bit high on the points, so it's pretty easy to just be damaging lower point characters all the time. And now that there's no more pushing damage, that actually helps him a lot too, because, you know, having to push before kind of sucked, except you like really had to hit people so you didn't get tokens, he could just keep going. But just having that option to be able to take 2 actions now is, you know, super helpful. 4 range again, 8 charge, 11 blades, 17 combat reflexes, and of course, don't forget the traded plasticity and shape change to help him out. So pretty cool, all in all. Get some exploit there at the back end too. I just like, you know, being able to just run through an army of just weaker characters and just never take action tokens, and if he takes a hit, he can potentially heal it back. So for all those reasons, he's coming in at number 4. Coming in at number 3 for me is the Carnage from the Spider-Man and Venom Absolute Carnage Fast Forces set. Okay, I don't know, Carnage sculpts, they're really love it or hate it for me. This one obviously is a repaint of Riot from that set. Doesn't really look anything like Carnage. That's one thing that does annoy me about this one. But his dial, though, is great. For one, he's got Codex, Frightful 4, Maximum Carnage, and Monster keywords. So he's actually got the most keywords of any Carnage, which is awesome. Symbiote trait is always good. Plasticity and shape change. Improved movement for elevation, again, is awesome. The Maximum Carnage trait, I actually love this trait. Once per turn, when Carnage hits after resolutions, deal 1 penetrating damage to up to 2 opposing characters that weren't hit but are adjacent to a hit character. Very reminiscent of the old Maximum Carnage ATA, which was super fun to just you know, pile on extra damage to adjacent characters. And actually, if you guys are playing Golden Age games, using this with that old ATA, man, you can just, you can do so much extra damage, it's crazy. But anyway, for 75 points, he actually has one more click of health than our last one we just took a look at. So for 25 points less is pretty awesome. He also has some steel energy in the middle and some regen at the end, so he has his own self-healing there as well. And also having a 50-point line gives you some good team building options. Starting off with an 11 movement charge gives you a really big reach, 11 attack blades, 18 super senses to go with the shape change to give you double rollouts, and then you got some exploit weakness there to get through those defense powers. 0 range on this one, but honestly, you know, this one's really a lot more of a close combat fighter anyway, so it's not really too bad. The 50-point line is great too, almost the exact same stats as the 75-point line, except you get Battle Fury instead of Exploit Weakness. So, you know, the trade-off there, he can't be carried, but he can't be mind-controlled or incapacitated, and he can get through opposing shape change, which for this set specifically was really good because there were so many symbiotes. But anyway, yeah, he's really good for the points, honestly, and for all those reasons, he's coming in at number 3. Coming in at number 2 on my list is the Colossal Carnage from the Mighty Thor set. This guy looks freaking awesome. I actually just have this guy up on my shelf because of how cool he looks. Yeah, he's freaking huge, though. So we'll take a look at his card. I like him at all the point values because he does have, let's see, 300, 200, and 110 points. Now, if we were just going to include the 10 points and only talk about the 10-point dial, this guy could easily be number 1. I'll say that much. The 10-point retaliation line, he's one of the best retaliators in the game, even now. So definitely could be number 1 for the retaliation alone. But I wanted to try to talk about the whole figure, not just one different point line. So he starts off with this trait: during force construction, you may add 10 points to Carnage's cost up to 5 times. For each time you choose to do so, add a symbiote bystander to your starting force. This is a good way to just kind of fill points, but not really something I would do too often. Maybe if you're playing him at the higher point lines, it'd be good to throw a couple on there just to start with, but he does generate them normally anyway. Then he also has another trait that gives him plasticity, and at the beginning of your turn, Carnage may KO 1 adjacent symbiote bystander to heal 2 clicks. He can't heal past his starting line. So some built-in healing is always nice, and that's really the only reason I would pay maybe a couple of those to start with, just so you have them around for him to heal up with. And then he has Stop Toughness. If Carnage began the game on the 10-point starting line, he can't attack smaller characters except via Colossal Retaliation. Pretty much your standard Colossal Indifference stop click there. Colossal Retaliation Symbiote Spawn free. If no other Colossal Retaliation power has been activated this turn, choose an opposing character that attacked Carnage or damaged a friendly character since your last turn. Place Carnage such that he can make a close attack targeting a chosen character, then do so. After resolutions, you may generate a symbiote bystander adjacent to the chosen character. Cool thing about that is you just hit or miss. It doesn't matter. As long as you activate this free action, you get to generate that bystander, which is awesome. We'll take a look at the bystander here. Plasticity, blades, super senses, and shape change with an 11 attack makes them pretty deadly little guys and pretty annoying to deal with the double rollouts there. And then taking a look at his dial again here, we have a 300-point line that gives us running shot with a 4-range triple target, 12 attack for 5 damage, with shape change and some energy shield deflection with an 18 defense. And the cool thing about this is he actually starts with that Colossal Retaliation power on all of his starting lines. So for that reason, I think all of his starting lines can be pretty solid, even the 300 and 200 point ones. It would be nice if he had some type of reducers and if he didn't drop to like a 16 defense for most of that. But otherwise, I do like all of his starting lines. The 200, he's got Charge with a 12 attack, Super Senses, and Shape Change. And then for the 100-point line, he actually starts with Flurry, which is pretty cool. You could actually play this guy just to retal, get the free retal attack and then Flurry. You got combat reflexes and shape change there, so not bad. But yeah, like I said, the 10-point starting line, for 10 points, you get that sidestep, 11 attack for the retal, and then you get to generate the bystanders after you retal that can then roll for blades and attack as well. So he's really great, obviously. Possibly the best if we're just talking about a retaliator, but Pretty good on all the start lines. I like him a lot, and for all those reasons, he's coming in at number 2. Now, as always, before we get to our number 1, we have a quick honorable mention here, and in this case, it's actually the only other Carnage in the game. I mean, there's a few Spider Carnages, and there's like Red Goblin and stuff, but as far as actual just Cletus Cassidy Carnage, this is the only other one we got in the game. So there's only 6 so far as of me recording this, but this is the old unique Carnage, and I'll say this, to this day, this is probably still like the best Carnage sculpt. I mean, just how cool is that? That is so awesome. Just jumping at you with the claws and the teeth, everything, just so cool. I love it. Honestly, I'm not even going to bother to look at his dial because it's not great. Especially by today's standards, it cannot hold up at all, I don't think. If they were ever to make like a legacy card or something for this guy, they'd have to give him like 1,000,000 traits to keep up, because his stats are pretty pathetic. But he's got the normal, you know, leap, climb, blades, super senses, some perplex there. But after that 10 attack, 17 defense, it goes down pretty bad. So anyway, that's our honorable mention. If nothing else, his sculpt is amazing and totally worth getting for that alone, in my opinion. Without any further ado, let's get to our number 1 pick. All right, and murdering his way into our number 1 spot, we have, of course, Absolute Carnage from the set with his own name, Spider-Man and Venom Absolute Carnage. This guy looks great. Again, great sculpt. Just chilling on Eddie Brock's tombstone. Pretty freaking awesome. So we'll take a look at what he can do now. First of all, he's got Codex, Maximum Carnage, and Monster keywords, which are great. Improved movement for elevated and hindering, you know, the drill. Then he's got the Carnage symbiote trait that says Absolute Carnage may start the game with the Carnage symbiote equipped at no cost. We'll take a look at that in just a second here. Then he's got another trait that says Flurry, Giant Reach 3. When Absolute Carnage KOs an opposing character of 25 plus points, after resolutions, you may generate a Carnage minion in that character's square. So not only does he have the awesome traded Flurry and Giant Reach of 3, but every time he KOs something of 25 or more points, he gets to generate a minion. That's awesome. Basically, anytime you can just add something to your team to just attack with or just to have extra characters on the map is usually a good thing. So that's really awesome. And then the Maximum Carnage trait we saw before, that once per turn when he hits, after resolutions, deal 1 penetrating damage to up to 2 opposing characters that weren't hit but are adjacent to a hit character. So just spreading out more damage is awesome. Then a special power over here that says Battle Fury, Leadership, and Probability Control, and other characters with the Maximum Carnage keyword modify attack +1. So that's awesome. Now, does kind of suck that it's all other characters. So if your opponent is playing a bunch of Maximum Carnage characters for some reason, they're all going to get the +1s too. So a little bit downside there, but you know, that just kind of feels like something Carnage would do, honestly. He's kind of crazy enough that he just wants to see all the murdering. So even if it's his own team getting murdered out there. But Battle Fury, Leadership, and Probability Control by themselves are 3 very good powers to have all at one time. Looking at his dial for 200 points, starts off with 11 movement charge, 12 attack precision strike, 19 defense with invincible, and 4 damage with that Battle Fury, Leadership, and Prob special. Don't forget he's got Giant Reach of 3 and Flurry, so he can really do some damage there. And then taking a look at his 125 point line, this one's really good too. Again with the charge, precision, this time with 18 invulnerability and 4 damage. And then the 60 point line is also great. Charge with blades, toughness, and perplex. You could easily perplex his attack up to 12, get a Giant Reach, Flurry blades on someone. All 3 of his point lines are great. I love all 3 of them. They all serve their own purpose, and they're all good in their own way. Now we'll take a quick look at the Carnage symbiote here. It just gives him plasticity and shape change like any normal symbiote trait. And then when this character KOs an opposing character after resolutions, heal 1 click. If that character had the Codex keyword, heal 3 clicks instead. That's just such a Carnage thing to do, you know, heal something every time you KO something. Plus the plasticity and shape change definitely help out. And I thought it'd also be good to take a look at the Carnage minions, just so you can kind of get an idea of what they do. For one thing, they also have that Maximum Carnage trait. Then they actually have the same trait that the Carnage symbiote grants, which is plasticity, shape change, and heal whenever they KO something. Heal 3 clicks if it's got the Codex keyword. And then Flurry and Sidestep for their special movement power. Only 3 clicks long, but Precision and Battle Fury is great. That gets through all those annoying Super Senses and Shape Change combos. And you know, you got Flurry, and with Precision you're going to do 1 damage even if they have good reducers. So pretty awesome there. just to be able to sidestep flurry, hit something for a couple clicks, and just kind of tie up your opponent with the plasticity, shape change, combat reflexes combo. So yeah, once this guy gets going, if he starts generating a couple of these dudes, it gets pretty nasty pretty quick. Not to mention, if he's on his higher point lines, he's going to be giving all these dudes +1 attack, so they'll be rocking that 11 attack. Anyway, yeah, this guy, definitely my #1 pick for Carnage. He just does so many cool things. Love all 3 of his point values. So for all those reasons, he's my #1 Carnage. Alright, that's going to do it for this top 5 list. As always, if you guys enjoyed it, make sure you smash that like button. It does help out a lot. Let me know down in the comments who else you'd like to see on a future top 5 list. And don't forget to click that subscribe button so you don't miss any future videos. And if you guys would like to help support the channel even more, you can check the links in the description for our Patreon. And you can see your name here in the credits with all these other awesome people. And that's going to do it for this video, so thank you guys so much for watching. And until next time, this has been Heroclix Headquarters, signing off.